Battlefield 2042, pretty much everything, new guns, vehicles, gadgets and specialists are all unlocked via leveling up, so I wanted to give you some tips so you can unlock all that sweet loot as fast as possible. Now, the quickest way to gain XP is by earning ribbons. Ribbons are going to give you a whopping 1000 XP for each one completed, and they feature 3 tiers which you'll then get a further 500 XP for doing it again at level 2 and 3. Let's take a little look. The Wingman ribbon awarded for assists or resuscitation of team members. The Combat ribbon, basically just destroy enemy soldiers and vehicles. The Intel ribbon, for this you'll have to spot enemies in all the multiple ways possible. The Objective ribbon, helping your team to victory directly by earning, defending and holding points. And the Logistics ribbon, which is given to good team players who heal their friends, supply them with ammunition or repair their vehicles with tools. So basically, want XP, go and earn ribbons, but there is one that I think is far superior to the others. So tip number 1, the Intel ribbon, where you have to spot enemies, is the easiest way in my opinion to earn XP and probably the most easy to complete. Choose the Specialist Casper, take out your drone and then just start spotting people. If someone gets a kill using your intel from spotting the enemy, that's another 50 XP for you, the same XP you get for a normal kill. You can also leave the drone in the sky as it continues to spot people, and it'll even keep spotting people if you're downed. And over time, you'll get to know the map so you'll know the best spots for dropping and leaving your drone in the air. I would encourage you, and I know this is easier said than done, to play it safe and not die. It obviously takes time to get in position and take the drone out, so if you have to retreat to live, I'd say do it. I actually found myself really enjoying this type of playstyle, and the drone can be really useful to help win your own fights too. Tip number 2, Hazard Zone. If you don't fancy going for the drone and spot look, and I don't blame you for that, another thing you could try is dropping into Hazard Zone. This is the mode where you'll only have 1 life, unless you're revived, and the aim is to collect data drives. Each actual player killed in this grants you 200 XP, and the data drives you'll collect gives you a load more of experience too. Even just completing the match, which lasts about 10 to 15 minutes, much quicker than your standard conquest match, gives you a nice bunch of experience points as well. Tip number 3, Breakthrough Mode. I would suggest playing in Breakthrough Mode as opposed to Conquest, as it is constant fighting on the front lines, as opposed to playing and capturing objectives over the entire map. It means you'll have more action, and more action means more kills, which ultimately means more XP. Number 4, Boris and his turret. The specialist Boris and his turret will also spot enemies for you, so that's a good way of getting extra XP without having to look through the drone. And his turret in general is pretty solid for helping you hold areas and help win fights too. In my opinion, one of the more useful specialists. Tip number 5, always revive your teammates. When you can, just always try to revive players. You don't necessarily have to play as Falcon or Angel, but just ensure you revive your teammates. You'll get 50 XP for this, but most importantly, it helps you get the Wingman ribbon. Another 1000 XP for you, yes sirree. Just don't expect your teammates to revive you back though. Tip number 6, ammo crates. If you're not too bothered, take an ammo crate out with you 24/7. I often find myself running out of ammo anyway, so it's useful for me too, but a great way to farm XP. I'd suggest running right up to the front line and just dropping it in front of the action. Yes, that means you won't have the rocket launcher, but remember, we're farming for XP right now. You'll get 5 XP for each person resupplied, and this can happen very quickly, especially if you're playing in Breakthrough Mode. Tip number 7, Loadout Crates. You could also choose the Specialist Angel, who can use a Loadout Crate to adapt to situations, which in turn helps you farm XP. If you have a variety of loadouts and suddenly 3 vehicles are heading in your direction, you can change classes, grab a lock-on missile and then take them out for more XP. The big thing here would be to have loadouts that are incredibly different so you can adapt to any situation that presents itself. That's just a good tip in general. Tip number 8, go driving. At the moment, the vehicles are just incredibly overpowered. I am hoping for a nerf on these, but for now, hop in a hovercraft and go and get some kills. It's amazing how many kills you can pick up if you don't want to play as boots on the ground. I can guarantee some poor sod is going to be crying and smashing his controller as you run him over 4 times in a row. Tip number 9, use the top tier weapons. In terms of the best weapons to use to get you more kills, there is obviously the PP29 SMG, which you'll unlock at level 18. I imagine like the vehicles, this will also get a nerf at some point, so I'd use it while it's still good. My personal favourite class though is the DMR for those mid to long range battles, but that's your call. Ultimately, they're both good ways of helping you get the edge over other players, resulting in more kills and more XP. And finally, we come to number 10, serious flanking. Obviously, flanking is a good way to win in most FPS shooters, but in Battlefield, there is what I call serious flanking. Use the specialist Sundance for the wingsuit and then stealthily fly behind all those campers at the back. Before they know it, you've dropped behind them like a superhero and you've got a bunch of easy kills. Depending on what map you're playing on, you can literally just do this again and again and again, and trust me, the enemy are going to hate you for it. Even if you use a few of these tips, you'll find you're getting way more experience for every game played. Obviously, the big one which I shouldn't have to mention is play the goddamn objective. Capturing points and doing what the game tells you to do is obviously going to give you more XP. If you think I've missed anything valuable and you've got some good tips, pop them down in the comments as I'm sure people would want to hear them. I'm Inside George and I'll hopefully see you in the battlefield. Until then.